I was 27, working at a company no one remembers, and every month, I found myself doing a desperate dance between my credit card limit and my negative bank balance. You know that moment when you sit on the couch, stare at the ceiling, and think, this can't be all there is? That was me, the phone screen glowing in my face like a existential spotlight. And then, I stumbled upon something that changed everything. A book. Blue cover. Simple font. Weird title. One Up on Wall Street. Written by a guy named Peter Lynch, a name that meant nothing to me at the time. But now I speak his name with deep respect. Because that man, in his tired suit and accountant's face, taught me something no school ever could. But this isn't just a story about a book. It's about how I discovered that you and I, everyday people, have an advantage that even Wall Street can't buy. An edge you're probably ignoring right now. And it all starts with how you see the world around you. Peter Lynch wasn't just a fund manager, he was the manager of the Magellan Fund at Fidelity. Between 1977 and 1990, he turned it into a beast, averaging a 29% return per year. If you'd invested 10-0 with him, you'd walk away with almost 280-0. But the real reason we're talking about him? It wasn't his degree, or his suit, or his job title. It was the simple, almost ridiculous way he chose which companies to invest in. While other Wall Street suits were buried in 400-page reports and spreadsheets, Lynch, he went to the mall. Yes, seriously, the mall. He'd walk around, watch what people were buying, notice what stores were packed, what teens were wearing, which sneaker brands were on fire. Then he'd go home, research the companies behind those trends, and invest. Sounds too simple? Maybe. But think about it. How many times have you seen something become huge before it hit the news? That's the magic Lynch understood. Regular people live in the real world. We see trends before their headlines. We know what's flying off the shelves before analysts do. But the truth is, most of us ignore that. We think investing has to be complicated, technical, out of reach, and that's exactly where we lose. There's this amazing story in the book about a company called Legs. They sold pantyhose in egg-shaped plastic containers. Silly? Maybe. But women loved it. Shelves emptied faster than Black Friday sales. Lynch noticed this before Wall Street caught on. He bought the stock. The result? Huge gains. And it wasn't luck. It was observation. That's the first gut punch. One up. On Wall Street delivers, the extraordinary hides in the ordinary. The question is, what are you overlooking? That fast food joint that's always packed. The product you bought once and now can't live without. The app you recommended to 5 friends in a week. These are all clues, signals, proof that something is working before the world wakes up to it. But here's the catch. Lynch didn't just throw money at anything that looked trendy. He did his homework. After spotting something promising in real life, he studied the business. What does it do? How does it make money? Who's the competition? What gives it an edge? And he had this quote that hit me like a brick. Invest in businesses any idiot could run because eventually one will. That's genius. Because it reminds us that flashy doesn't mean stable. Lynch loved 10-baggers companies that could grow tanks. But you know where he found them? Not in Silicon Valley. Not on CNBC. But in boring places like grocery store chains, fast food franchises, or companies that make bottle caps. The more boring the name, the better, he said. Because boring scares off the show-offs and brings in the quiet winners. Now let me tell you when this hit me personally. A few years ago, my sister, who couldn't care less about finance, became obsessed with an online cosmetics brand. She talked about it non-stop. Her friends too. The company? Natura. At the time, their stock was struggling, but I remembered Lynch. I paid attention. I studied the company, saw they were growing online, cutting distribution costs, improving margins, everything lined up. So, I invested, and 6 months later, the stock shot up over 80%. It wasn't magic, it was mindset. That was the moment I realized, the market isn't a roulette wheel, it's a map if you know where to look. And One Up on Wall Street changed my lens. Now, I see every trip to the supermarket or scroll on my phone as a chance to discover something powerful before the analysts do. That's the transformation, from passive consumer to conscious investor. And the core message of Lynch's book? Invest in what you understand. If you can't explain how a company makes money in under 2 minutes, don't invest in it. Simple, brutal, true. And that simplicity is revolutionary because it puts the power back in your hands. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to predict the next crash. You just need to be present, aware, curious. Next time you walk into a pharmacy and see a product flying off the shelves, ask questions. Does this sell well? Is it always out of stock? Watch people, observe, then go home. Research, think, decide. You're the detective. Lynch believed the best opportunities often hide in plain sight during bad times because markets overreact. They panic, they fall in love and fall apart. And in those moments, real investors move. But he also warned, don't fall in love with your stocks. Companies change, markets shift. Be ready to move when the fundamentals do. Think for yourself. That, above all, is the spirit of One Up on Wall Street. It pulled me out of passivity, made me realize that investing isn't reserved for elites. It's for those who are present, curious, and willing to act. Today, I'm not rich, but I'm free. Free to see the world with investors' eyes. Free to turn insight into action. Free to know I don't need to predict the future, just understand the present. So maybe you're sitting at your own turning point. Maybe you think investing is too hard, or that you don't have enough money, or that you'll never really get it. But the truth? You already live in the market. You already see the signs. You just need to start noticing them. So next time you walk into a store, look closer. Ask more. And remember, attention costs nothing, but it can earn you everything. Subscribe to The Investor's Mind, because here, we don't just talk about money, we talk about how to think. And as Peter Lynch would say, the best time to invest was yesterday. The second best is now. If you like this story, hit subscribe and don't miss what's coming next. And if you're serious about investing, welcome to The Investor's Mind.